a genocidal terrorist organization that long before any embassy was spoken about, Hamas, was calling to kill every single Jew. We can't afford to just say, well, that's hyperbole. Maybe they don't mean it.
Well, that clip fucked up. But anyway, hi, everybody. Welcome to the show.
We get the idea.
Hey.
Yeah, thank you. Folks, welcome to another episode of the Sit Down, an Organized Crime podcast. You know, we spend a lot of time on this show talking about bullies and thugs and murderers and liars and scumbags. And you know who's the ultimate? Yeah, Jesus Christ. Sorry. You know who's
smooth.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? Get out of my house. But
Great
you know
start.
what? Let's talk about the ultimate group of fucking scumbags. The state of Israel. Am I right, folks?
That's right.
Yeah. Everyone, yeah, no, I don't know. They're very, yeah, I thought this would, so this is a very special episode, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. They're been the top scumbags for the last 70 years, right? Established 1948.
Well, I mean, my agent is Jewish.
Oh, you're
so
walking
let's not
back.
trash all. Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Matt.
All right.
Let's be fair and balanced here. You piece of shit.
Sit
Let's
down,
not
pod.
paint everybody
Fair
with a
and
broad brush. Yeah.
True.
And today we have a very special guest. Guess what, you pieces of shit? It's another woman, okay?
Yeah, what was that review?
If you have a problem with women on the show, suck my fucking dick and go find another one. It's 2018.
Right.
You fucking hunk of garbage.
Yeah.
How you doing, Eman?
I'm good. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome.
I know that so many listeners are going to be so disappointed in hearing
Well, they can suck
Me.
they can suck our cocks.
our collective dicks
Yeah.
all together.
Welcome to the
No.
Lion's Den.
Thank you.
I think I don't think so. I think we I think it's important to talk about this kind of thing, and I
Right.
think that, you know, if you are going to approach this story in terms of crime, because we're still hanging on to that for some reason, yeah, you know, Israel is not great sometimes, as I have found out. I also found out that the conflict over there is very complicated.
It is. I mean, people always say that. I don't know why they always say it's so complicated. It's because I think people don't want you to read up on it and understand how simple it actually is. It's a very simple story.
Yeah.
The Palestine was always ruled by some kind of, you know, conquering power. So it was
Right.
the Turks, then it was the British. Then
Right.
the British were like, that's when the British
Yeah.
fucked the entire continent over.
Yeah, that's what I heard
yeah.
about the history. They weren't very good at keeping their promises because
They're-
they said, because after World War I, right, they said that Palestine could have.
Their own state.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just mansplain the whole.
Yeah. Mansplain the whole thing to me.
Shut
yeah.
up for a second.
I've seen one YouTube video. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. So the British kind of like fucked the entire continent, two continents really, just like taking everybody's resources, setting all of these countries back to the Stone Ages, and was like, okay, bye, we're done here. We got everything that we
Right,
needed.
because they just didn't want it anymore, and they
That's
gave it
it.
to the United Nations.
We got everything that we needed. And then, of course, World War II, horrible, very, Europe, very anti-Semitic.
Yeah,
Until
the
today.
Holocaust was no good, folks.
Well,
Yeah.
anti-Semitism is
We're
something
anti-
that still exists. And I think that's the only thing that really helps Israel get away with literally murder
Yeah.
for the past
Yeah.
7 decades.
Yeah.
Because,
Remember what happened? Yeah.
you know, anti-Semitism is definitely a real and true thing, and we suffer from it until today. I just want to remind everybody that being Semitic does not only mean that you're Jewish. Arabs are Semites too.
Now, what is a Semite?
Extra complicated.
Yeah, so we're all Semitic. Arabs and Jews are practically the same thing. Like our DNA is practically the
Aman's
same
rubbing
thing.
her head like she's going to have to do a lot of
I
explaining.
know.
Whatever.
Sorry. Yeah, so we're Semitic people. We come from the same thing. We're you know, desert people. So anybody who's anti-Semitic is usually anti-Muslim and anti-Arab as well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like exclusive, and vice versa. Anybody who's anti-Muslim is usually anti-Semitic as well, unless they're Jewish anti-Muslim, then they're not.
Okay.
Anti-Jewish. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now, I had a friend tell me one time, my friend Brett Ernst, who's an Italian guy, comic, a little bit of a right-winger, and he was like, Italians are genetically susceptible to emotional outbursts. So are Arabs. And he was like...
It's true. We're hot-blooded people.
Right, yeah.
Is it the weather? I don't know.
I don't know. Is it genetic? Is it...
Is it the food?
Is it the
Obviously,
hairiness?
Ooh.
Maybe it's the hairiness.
It's the body hair.
Yeah.
It's the body hair.
Right.
So you're too hot. You
It's
can't
too
cool
hot.
down.
You
Exactly.
can't have sex with your wife because there's a giant bush.
It's too hot.
There's shrubbery leading
Right.
to her clitoris.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, God damn it. I cannot find my wife's clitoris. And then she's mad at you.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is the greatest.
And the same with Italians. They're like, hey, where is your clitoris? I tried to eat the pussy and I cannot. Yeah, that's why. And then we take it out and whatever.
Yeah.
But
Heat and body hair. So anyway, of course, anti-Semitism huge in Europe. Arabs weren't in Europe yet at the time when World War II happened. So Europeans wanted Jews
Arabs
out of
weren't
Europe.
in Europe at all.
We weren't there yet. We had our own countries. This is the thing
Right.
too. This is another problem that I have with people who don't want to welcome refugees. Listen, nobody wants to leave their own country. Nobody's
Right.
happy to leave their
Yeah.
comfort zone. Okay,
Right.
whoever's leaving is probably because of Western interference.
Unless you love raping white women.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's like such a small minority.
Right.
Believe me.
That's like two of them.
That's exactly
Yeah.
2 out of the hundreds and hundreds.
Right.
Of
Right.
thousands.
Or hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, hundreds
Yeah.
of thousands, millions, whatever.
Right.
So
What if a politician ran on it? They were like, listen, a few white women will have to get raped to fix this problem.
For the greater good.
I mean, what
Yeah.
about like the white guys that are raping?
What
all
about
the time?
Italians who rape? Yeah, exactly.
Italians who rape.
Yeah.
Italians who rape sounds
Why
like
do
a
we
book.
always have to talk about people of color that are rapists? What about white men that rape? Like the president of the United States.
True.
God.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
What else?
No, that's so.
What else?
So it's
Well, it does seem like because I also watched a good amount of like
YouTube videos.
I watched some YouTube videos, some Prager University videos. Do you know the
Yeah.
guy Dennis Prager? He's like kind of a Zionist, but his whole thing is like, Israel created their own state, and then they were attacked in 1948. But little Israel won the war, and it seems like even when I was in high school, they kind of painted Israel as this like little like underdog, this little like kind
that
of
was
feisty underdog that should've
completely armed by the British, by the Western powers.
by
Like
us.
they're
Right.
they're always like, oh, we started from nothing. It's like you had all the money in the world
Right.
Yeah.
from the biggest countries in the world. You've been armed
Yeah.
by the best armies in the world. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Like you started with nothing? You know, it's such BS. Everything is based on fucking lies.
Right. And I think they kind of like,
I'm never going to get an agent, by
that's-
the way. I've been looking for an agent, New York City.
Yeah,
I've
good
been
luck.
doing stand-up for 10 years.
No,
I
but you
have
gotta just-
amazing credits, and nobody wants to represent me.
gotta
And
just-
I think
you got-
this is the reason.
you got to lean into it, Eman.
Yeah.
You got to be like, fuck Israel, a comedy show, a weekly show. Jews are dogs. come
I
to
love
my-
Jews, though. You know,
Yeah.
married
Come
to
to
a
my-
Jewish woman
Yeah,
Yeah.
Eman's married to a Jewish woman, so
who's
no
not
one,
a Zionist. This is the secret to our happy marriage.
no one can hate Jews that much when they
No,
have
I
those,
love
Yeah.
Jews.
when they have those sweet boxes, right? Yeah, but it does feel like I just think back to high school. It was always sort of like Israel was like this little underdog. Like they make it sort of sound like Israel was this country that was formed by like four
people.
that
Four
just went into the
Zionists that had
desert and
nothing,
like
exactly.
made something of
Well,
it.
the whole concept of the existence of how Israel started, they said, first of all, they said that they went to a place where that was a country for no people what's the fucking
A
sentence?
country for no people.
A people,
No country for.
Andy knows everything.
a land for people.
I was brushing my teeth this morning, and Andy just starts pissing right next to me.
Andy knows. What is
he's
it,
a
Andy?
psychopath.
That's it. A land with no people for a people with no land.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So they pretended that nobody was there. They pretended that nobody, you know, they just like walked in. This place was deserted, and
Right.
Palestinians just fabricated
Yeah.
their identity based on that. When really, like my mother's family, immediate immediate family was kicked out of their home.
Right.
In Jaffa, and hundreds of thousands of Palestinians were driven away. And until today, I'm talking like when I went in 2010, 2011, I went 2 years in a row. You see eviction notices on people's houses. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Of them just being like, you have to leave your own house without compensation, without nothing.
This is
no
West
recognition.
Bank or in Gaza or where?
That was in East Jerusalem.
Oh, wow.
With no compensation, no nothing. It's like they're just pretending that Palestinians never existed, and it's a made-up notion, and it's like so fucked up. It's so fucked up.
Yeah.
That's a crazy thing. I mean, it does seem like with media and everything, it is easy to paint Arabs as like these sort of like violence-loving barbarians.
Oh, I was watching some Fox News like that. It was insane.
Yeah.
That Israeli propaganda. It's crazy.
All media was like Fox News media. Like however Fox News today is portraying Arabs and Palestinians, that was all Western media.
Right.
Just like up to 10 years ago. I mean, the clear bias of Western media towards Israel was like unbelievable. But thank God, this is a good thing about social media. You can't cover the news as much. You don't have as much control and on filtering the news like you once did.
Right.
So now people are like, holy fuck, this has been happening to Palestinians all this time. And we thought Israel was like the poor country, self-made, when it's really like, had all the help in the world, you know?
Yeah, and they're just like, oh, we're just out here just existing. It's not like we're asking for any trouble. And it's like you're expanding and
exactly. So even under Rabin, who's like the most beloved prime minister of Israel, who's super peaceful, who got assassinated by his own extremist people.
Yeah.
Even when he was trying to like make peace, he kept expanding the illegal settlements. There's not once in the history of the Israeli existence that they stopped the settlements. They never wanted peace. They just kept saying, and they would always say, we'll talk about peace without conditions. They just wanted a free-for-all. You know, it was just like all fabricated bullshit.
Yeah.
So
but now people see it finally.
Right.
And they keep expanding just kind of like they need places to live. And
they just want to make sure that the entire country is a Jewish country. I mean, they're not even opening their borders to freaking Ethiopian Jews. If anything, it's even more specific. They want it to be Ashkenazi, white Jewish people. You know, I don't think
they're the ones with the highest IQs.
Well, that's it. There you go. I don't. Honest to God, I don't think a Sephardic.
It's just very science.
I honest to God don't think a Sephardic Jew could be prime minister of Israel, and I'm not even kidding. Like they're racist within themselves.
No, I'm sorry. What's a Sephardic Jew?
Oh, sorry, like an Arab Jew.
Our listeners know.
Like
our listeners have charts in their houses of all the different kinds of Jews.
This is the wokest audience in the world.
Yeah.
Didn't you have a pretty good story about like your baseline, your grandma's solution to the
anything your grandmother has to say is pure
Palestine
gold.
Israel conflict, right?
Did they just kill each other? What is that?
She was telling me the reason that Palestinians. Well, I mean, I don't want to tell your story, but you were saying because they didn't know how to farm. They were so mad.
That was actually not my 92-year-old grandmother. That was my mother who should know better. I brought up Israel and Palestine, and she was like, you know, those Palestinians are jealous because these Israelis figured out how to irrigate the land. And she's like, why don't they just get off their asses and make something of themselves? She has this idea. Yeah, she has this idea that like Palestinians are lazy and they don't know how to irrigate.
Yeah,
they don't know how to farm.
Yeah,
but the fact that they're like olive trees are getting uprooted on a daily basis by
trees,
Israeli illegal citizens.
The date trees are as old as the Bible.
There's what?
The date trees are as old as the Bible.
The date trees, there you go.
So how did they not know how to farm?
Right.
Sorry.
Well, they probably, but maybe Jews take the credit for that.
I studied in college.
Yeah. I know. I think I feel like we should get you a microphone to join this conversation.
Andy studied like
Andy
12
knows more
different
than
things
me.
in college.
It seems like
it's like I feel like he's like this lost guru now. Like,
No, it's fine. Don't utilize the guy in your house.
I didn't know you knew about this stuff.
we should have.
All right,
part
take
three.
Amon's microphone.
Yeah,
you sit
I
in.
think you should take over.
Let's colonize
Let's
this.
get a real man with real information.
Yeah. No. Come
No,
on.
you're
come,
so good.
Come Israel her microphone.
She did not use it right. She was just letting it grow,
your mom. I'm so
That's so
the
funny.
mistake. I wanted
Andy
it to
just
be
gets
part
a
of-
Jewish accent. He's like, she's wasting the microphone. I could be doing better things with that microphone. Anyway, so hello, are you Jewish? Yeah. What else do I want to talk about? But
Although
yeah,
speaking of Jews, I saw such a terrific hot movie yesterday.
oh, what?
Disobedience.
Oh, that's with the gay ladies.
With the gay ladies. It's fucking hot.
Okay.
I don't know if your listeners
exactly.
are going to enjoy hearing me promote Disobedience, but it's fucking amazing.
No,
No.
Daniel Craig. He's in the woods.
No, it's
No, his wife being gay in a movie.
yeah, it's the movie about the.
What am I thinking of?
It's the movie about the scissoring.
Yeah, folks,
very
you missed
hot
it out
one,
there.
yeah.
Mike put his fingers together, 2 peace signs. Ultimate.
Did they scissor?
They don't.
No. Okay. Did you ever? I don't know what your experience with pornography is, but when
Huge
I was
fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, when did you start watching
Porn.
it?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, when I was like
And
really
what was
young, and
it?
it was before the internet.
Mhm.
So you know
Nice.
that I'm from Montreal, right? Which is
You've dated
the
men.
best.
Have you dated men?
Yeah, I have, but I never had a serious relationship before my wife. My
Oh,
wife
okay.
is literally the first real relationship, and my first love, and my first woman, and my first everything.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
See, Palestinians are so cool. You know,
I think so.
they do comedy, they smoke, they watch porn.
Yeah,
There you
what,
go.
They marry.
What liberal professor
They-
taught
they-
you
They
that?
scissor with Jews.
That's so funny.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, was that on Mike earlier when you were talking about they went and interrogated that liberal professor on turning her gay?
On your cousin gay?
No, it wasn't on
Oh,
mine.
okay.
But
You have to
apparently
tell
my-
them.
Well, my uncle's daughter is a lesbian, and apparently so she's my aunt's stepdaughter, and apparently she like went to Rutgers, and they suspected that a professor like recruited her to become gay. They
That's
like
so
went to the
funny.
school, and they were like, what is your problem? Like, what kind of literature did you give her? Where now she likes to.
That's
now
so funny.
she likes to scissor.
I mean, did you know her before she came out?
Like a little bit, but she was always kind of like not around because she like wasn't related to me.
Oh, okay.
And I never really knew she was gay until I was like 12. So I always knew she was around, but yeah. Now she lives in Utah with her partner. But it's
Wow.
like you look at these people, you're like, oh, you're obviously born that way. No one can you can't read enough to.
Yeah, it's
into
not
that
a good
lifestyle.
book.
I mean, she looked
Yeah.
obviously gay. You mean she looks gay? Has she
No,
always
she's
looked
got,
like that? Or,
well,
some people come out of the closet and they embrace a very gay look
uh-huh.
or a stereotypical
Right.
gay look. And
Matt's
other people
already
are just like
embraced a gay
gay, a gay person that just that just
Oh,
stays
they're
the
always
same.
like that.
The same. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she came out.
Oh,
Mike-
no, he's leaving. The expert is leaving. Okay. Nice meeting you too. Oh, she is great. I told them she should do the sequel because she was a war crimes lawyer.
Oliver.
She what? At the UN? No. We met doing comedy, but she used to be a lawyer. Yeah. She should do my wife. You know what? Maybe Jews will listen to my wife talk about the state of Israel being a war crime state. Because she used to be a United Nations war crimes lawyer.
Oh.
So she could actually give you the expertise, the textbook expertise and explanation.
When I saw that for this podcast research, I saw what Nikki Haley did when she
She
walked
is
out.
awful.
Oh,
Did
I
you
was like,
see that?
"Why are you not even gonna stay?"
She doesn't even want to listen.
Didn't
And did you
even
see
wanna
her
listen.
with the last thing that she vetoed, where she was like walking around the United Nations begging other countries to stand with her, and everybody refused, but she still vetoed. And I mean, anyway,
Jesus
she's
Christ.
disgusting. I mean, this
Yeah.
whole let's not even get into
Right.
the American thing right now.
Yeah,
but
it's a
yeah,
whole different level.
that you guys, talk to both sides of this conflict because
The
I'm
Italian
just,
mob fixes
Yeah.
it.
I just wish Israel was a bit more forefront, and I feel like they are now. They're a lot more forward about their intentions. The current Knesset is so racist. Like the member of the Knesset, that's the Department of Justice, has actually called like Palestinian children cancer. I mean, these people are so openly racist right now. They're not even hiding the fact that they don't want peace, that they don't want a two-state solution. They don't want any of that.
Right.
It's gotten to this point because we've let them get away with it to
Yeah.
this
But then
point.
that is one way to solve the problem. You just kick out people, and then you can build your shitty condos.
It's like you solved the problem, but the answer is wrong.
Yeah, but I guess it is. But I guess when you consistently like dehumanize a people, which has been happening for as long as I can remember, like hearing about the conflict, then it is easier to sort of justify, when some of these atrocities happen.
Sure. And I mean, how could they do something like that with their own
Just like-
history being them
Right.
being
Yeah.
dehumanized in Europe, being treated like second-class citizens, being, people trying to erase their identity. And not only do they fucking try to erase our
Right.
identity and pretend that we don't exist, they
Yeah.
take our food, they take our words. Like, if you guys think you're so
just
much
my
more
mom-
superior than we are, why come up with your own fucking shit?
They
Yeah.
eat
You're
hummus.
just
Stop eating hummus.
Israeli
Yeah.
hummus? Like, you can't just take a
Oh,
food
right,
that's
right.
existed forever
Yeah.
and just put the word Israeli in it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, at least say it's Middle Eastern food. We all eat this in the Middle East. Why specifically Israeli? Like, get
Wait,
the
so
fuck
what
out
about
of here.
what about
Yeah.
Israeli salad?
It's Arabic salad. In Israel, talk to any Israeli from Israel. They'll tell you even Israelis over there, Jews, will call it Arabic salad in Hebrew.
Oh, okay.
It's fucked up that
Yeah.
they just erase everything.
Yeah,
Zero.
Quit using the
They
Holocaust.
say
as an
yalla.
excuse.
They say what they use our words.
What's
Even their
yalla?
fucking yalla is like let's go.
Okay.
Even their fucking hit shows are titled in Arabic words. Like
Really?
this is you think we're that inferior and you just keep using our own shit. Like
Yeah.
the whole thing is just horrible.
Yeah.
Fauda, that's a big show that I can't watch.
It does seem like the story of oppression, kind of like it's the same almost everywhere you go.
Sure.
Like, because I was watching another video where they were talking to people who were like moving into the West Bank, and they were Jews, and they were like, yeah, we just want an affordable place to live. We like it here. It's comfortable. I work in the city. I commute back here. It's nice at night. And it's like, that's kind of like me, I live in this black neighborhood. I just want an affordable apartment.
Yeah.
I just need a place
I love
to.
it. That's so
Well,
weird.
not only, but the government of the United States or the New York, the city is not giving you money to populate black neighborhoods. They get help from their government.
even know that.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
top of
I didn't
everything.
even know that.
Yeah, so
What a bunch of lying, dirty Jews.
not all of them. There's good people in
Sure.
every culture. Now I have to become pro-Jewish to balance out this conversation. Right?
Well, the Comedy Cellar is run by, I think, Israelis. I think Esty was in the IDF. And,
Oh, was she in the IDF?
Oh.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm
Yeah,
never going to
yeah, yeah.
work there.
Oh boy.
You know
No, she
what?
has Palestinians that perform there. She has
She does.
Muhammad.
Oh, she's Muhammad. Yeah. Well,
what's
she's
his
got
name?
one.
She has Muhammad and she has Ahmed. Ahmed performs there.
Okay.
So some of them could be in the IDF and seeing how horrible the IDF is to Palestinians and could have a change of heart. I mean, what is it called?
I feel like you're either shooting protesters or you're an Israeli fighter pilot, and those are the two occupations you can have. In the
I thought my
IDF.
wife was a Mossad agent when I first met her. My
you did?
career, it
That's
was like
pretty cool.
the beginning of my career was like taking off. I was 5 years into comedy. I finally got my first Just for Laughs appearance. I got a TV special like comedy for our Comedy Central
thought
in
she was,
Canada.
like, spying
and she
on
was
you or something?
yeah, so I thought she was like sent from Israel.
She was
Mossad
like a
is like the
sexy-
secret
Wow.
spy.
A sexy Mossad agent to
A
seduce.
Mossad agent to seduce me and ruin my career.
Yeah, with that sweet Jewish.
They've
Yeah.
been trained from birth to
That's
seduce
it.
and destroy.
This Palestinian girl cannot be successful. Let's go ruin her life.
Right. So that's why they don't just stay in the Israeli territory. They want to make it.
Yeah, the hardcore Zionists. Are you kidding me? The ones that are like super religious, that are illegal settlers, basically. They go into Hebron. Hebron is it's disgusting.
Right.
They spit on Palestinian kids going on to school. They have to be like these Palestinian kids have to be walked by Israeli army to defend them from these psychotic settlers. So this is something
Yeah.
that American media never sees.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Oh, Vice
I-
gets it. Vice gets
Vice
in there.
probably, yeah.
The price taggers. Have you heard of those guys?
The price taggers, do they the ones that
They're like
that kill?
If an attack happens, they're
Yeah.
like, we don't care who it is, any Arab person. This is the price of that attack.
Right. Yeah.
And they'll like attack them. It'll like hurt them, kidnap
Well,
them.
they'll do the dirty work for the IDF, basically.
Right. And they're like, yeah, they're
they'll
a
get
lot
away
of
with
friends
that.
with the IDF.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's so disgusting.
Yeah.
But they're in a position of power, and the Western world, is siding with them. But again, thank God for social media that they can't hide behind that anymore.
Right.
You know.
Right.
right.
Yeah, because I obviously learned this like yesterday that there's two Palestinian territories in Israel. There's the West Bank and there's
Same.
Gaza, right? But so it seems like living in Gaza is objectively worse than being in the West Bank.
So finally, when they were like,
But-
we were like,
yeah.
okay, we're going to become a democracy. We're going to do our first election. let us vote. We voted for Hamas. Israel got mad because it wasn't the results they wanted. After criticizing us for years of not being a democratic country or a group of people.
Are you
And
more
then
of a-
they punished
vote
us.
right.
Exactly.
Stupid.
So as soon as we finally have an election, Gaza is fed up. These people are fed up because they see that a moderate government like Mahmoud Abbas, the current president of Palestine, has bent over backwards for Israel. They've fucked him in so many different ways, and it brought us nothing. Nothing. He's done everything. He said I wouldn't even him as a refugee from his own city in Palestine, in Israel now. Said, I won't go back to my city. No problem. But at least let's have a defined, borders so we could have a two-state solution.
Yeah.
What
Israel
balls,
did
what
nothing.
balls on Israel?
I mean, they don't
Yeah.
care if they're getting away with it. Why would they do something different?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, pour them, and Holocaust and this. And
But also, it's hard to go to a desert with a bunch of scary brown people and make a country.
yeah.
You're absolutely right, Michael.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, I like to present both sides.
It's so good.
Fair and balanced.
You are fair and
The
balanced.
sit down pod.
Yeah. This is the no spin zone with Mike Recine. So I think now, and I even have friends who are smart people who will they'll complain about Hamas using kids as human shields and firing rockets and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's cool,
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen a rocket before,
yeah,
dude?
you ever fire a
That's
rocket?
cool.
Yeah, it's like you're missing out on the coolest.
Yeah.
No, but I guess, and obviously, you shouldn't fire rockets and use your kids as human shields.
100%. And
Yeah.
I don't believe in
But-
violence, and I'll never condone any form of violence. And I think
Right.
people should actually just sit down and have a conversation, but that's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
Right.
And Israel
I mean,
is
I guess
not.
Hamas does some bad stuff too every once in a
For
while.
sure, for sure that they're,
Yeah, they're
but
both pissed.
I mean, they are led by
But
men,
what do you suppose?
right? So-
Well, men are the problem. That's exactly what I was going to get
Under
into.
the core.
Men are the problem.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah, we got to get the men out of power.
Yeah. When are we going to do that? It's not looking good for
No.
another.
It's
for
not looking
another
good for
century.
men. Okay.
A long time.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah.
looking quite good over there.
I mean, even in
Well,
Canada.
it's almost like straight white males are comedy refugees, and we've been banished to just do podcasts.
Okay.
We can't get writing jobs or stage time anymore, so we
Yeah.
just gotta sit in our
The
living room.
last guy that got there was a submission for
But-
one of the late night shows, and it was a white guy who got the job. I think you guys are fine still.
Okay, good. Mike's
I know.
Mike's
No,
just
you're
going
right.
through his experience.
Yeah.
Well,
and-
it's so funny because I was thinking because I got an email from my manager. She was like, "Yeah, a lot of writers' rooms want diversity and
Is
blah
she
blah
a
blah." And I-
Zionist? Can you tell?
No, she's not. She's from Nebraska.
Oh, Nebraska.
Oh, I
I thought you
got
had
it
a
right.
Jewish
God.
agent. Manager.
I did, but hey, believe it or not, he fucked me over, Eman. Can you
Who?
believe it? Some Jew didn't keep his promise. Anyway, but yeah, she's from Nebraska. She's great. I'll let
Yeah.
her know.
Yeah, please.
I'll be
Cool.
like, let's get back at these.
Cool.
Yeah, because I'm sure she's been sexually harassed by an Israeli or something.
Right.
By a Harvey Weinstein or something.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I'll bring her up. I'll bring you up to her. But
Thank you.
but no, I was thinking it's hard for white men. But then Iman was like, yeah, I'm a fucking Palestinian, and all these.
Yeah.
Everyone had
I'm
showed
never
up like
gonna
a
get.
hardcore
Yeah,
Zionist.
I'm never gonna get representation.
Right.
Forget it. I made a big mistake coming into this business.
But you gotta
don't
lean
know.
in. You gotta be like, hey.
No, I have
you know?
to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
Palestinian voices are very
How about a-
important.
how about
Especially now with that
How about a
nurse that-
podcast? How about a weekly show called No Bombs Allowed? a benefit for
I love
Hamas.
that.
Yeah.
That's
you throw
good.
out all of your bad episodes, all
you
bangers.
just totally lean into it.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, and you're gonna. It'll be fun watching people get mad. But I guess I do. So I feel like we have to talk about life in Gaza a little bit and what it's like and what people are going through. Because I think it's easy for people to be like, well, they're attacking and they're being violent and they're using their kids as human shields. It's like your kid could either get blown. You could either use your kid as a human shield and he gets to go to heaven, or he's gonna have to live in
Or he lives in hell.
or he's gonna live in
strong
Gaza.
So let
yeah.
him-
Yeah.
so
Like,
let him die.
Maybe they're trying to send their kids to heaven.
Yeah.
That's
So they don't have to live in this
greatest.
fucking shithole.
That is the greatest explanation possible. I love that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Let
would
him
you
go
wanna
to
stick
heaven.
around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's what, my friend Joey was like, they're using their kids as human shields and all that shit. But 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 it's so funny because I was watching like some videos about like what life is like in Gaza, and then I watched another video that was like kites are doing serious damage to Israel's crops.
God, I watched that too.
You watched it was like a minute-long video.
Yeah, it's Israeli propaganda of like the protesters,
and it's set up like one of those little news videos where it's like the like they have that like urgent like whatever xylophone music. Or whatever it is.
Your news update music.
Yeah, and they're like. The Palestinians are using kites and they're attaching fire bombs to the kites and they're flying the kites over the man, I fucking love Palestine.
Yeah. I mean, they're dealing with some shit right now.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, just like killing these. So what's the explanation that they have now for killing this nurse and journalists and stuff like that? Like we can't even.
I can find
we're
that on
not
Twitter.
even
Hold on a
allowed to
second.
peacefully protest.
Right.
I mean, what are Palestinians supposed to do? I just don't get it.
She's the 119th person killed since March.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
It's of course I can.
And we're just
this has always
sitting in
And
it.
they
I know.
think her hands were raised before she was shot.
Yeah, there's a picture. I have it on my Instagram.
Right.
If
And-
you guys want to follow me.
Yeah.
Instagram. Anti Magnifique. There's a picture.
Check it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like the IDF's defense was like there was like a menacing person behind her with something
it's
that's
such
close to the
fucking
fence.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
Everything is such bullshit.
This is what Ophir Gentleman said, who I guess is
Oh, great. That's an Israeli person, right?
yes.
Yeah.
This is hashtag Recine Najjar.
Yeah.
Najjar, who came to the Gaza border last week to, quote, serve as a medic and unfortunately lost her life there. But do medics participate in riots and say they are human shields for terrorists? Hamas used her as a human shield for its terrorists who stormed our border.
Yeah.
So now I guess someone who's just treating people who are getting shot, honoring people who are getting shot, Hamas is using her as a pawn too.
Yeah.
But it almost feels like their logic only goes so far. Like it sort of feels like they're like, no, they won't negotiate.
It's
they're
not true.
terrorists. They're violent, right? But then, like, so what is their like end goal? They're just like this subhuman like devil race that just wants to blow stuff up.
I think at the end of the day, what's going to happen is exactly what happened in South Africa, and it's going to become one state because they've made it officially impossible for two states to exist by expanding the illegal settlements.
Okay.
So we're going to end up coexisting, and people are not going to be able to tell us apart because we're both Semitic people, except for the Ashkenazi white Jews that can't handle the sun.
Right.
Everybody.
So fuck each other, everybody.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
Yeah,
I think
mix
that's
it
the
up.
solution.
Get it
That's
in.
what
Yeah.
I'm doing right now with my wife. So
Yeah.
Right. Guys, if you want to fix this problem, if you're Jewish or Palestinian, have gay sex with
have gay sex.
the other person.
And that's it. Yeah. Don't need to reproduce or just adopt whoever all of these like poor refugee kids that are like
Right.
left homeless. And
Yeah.
I mean,
You were
ideal
telling-
society.
You were talking about a friend of yours. She's a religious Jewish woman who like married a Muslim guy. Then she married a Muslim woman. Then she dated another Muslim
Yeah.
or something. Do you think there was maybe like, was there any part of you like when you met Jess that maybe you wanted to like rebel against something, or was
I
it,
don't think
did
I
it
was
feel-
I grew up definitely unconventional. I mean, there's so many problems with the Muslim world and Arab world that's like so blatantly sexist and racist and
because
all
it's
of
hot
that
when
stuff.
you can't fuck someone and then you do.
Right.
it.
You
It's
got all that hair.
That's
right.
why
Yeah,
I talked
yeah.
about
Yeah.
disobedience.
Yeah.
That
If they're,
movie
like,
is
under
the
18.
hottest.
What's disobedience about?
It's about two girls that grew up Hasidic. They were born into a Hasidic
Hell yeah.
community, and they're lesbians. So they like fool around, and it's and one of them breaks away, and the other
It
one
sounds like
stays.
every
and
porno
it's
I
the-
watch.
It's the
Very frowned upon in the Hasidic community.
It was so hot. I highly recommend it for anybody, even straight guys
Yeah.
Okay.
would love that movie. The love scene is
Do you get to see a lot
Amazing.
of Hasidic culture in the movie?
yeah.
Okay,
The
good.
whole thing is
Okay.
based on Hasidic culture.
I'm in it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I worked at Adorama, so I think I would like that. You know,
I mean, they're
hating
so
on
strict.
some Hasidics. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
You hate them?
Well, I would hate on them in this situation because I'm
Yeah.
sure they wouldn't allow this lesbian love to bud. Isn't
No,
it
of
just a
course.
secretive,
Of course.
lusty romance?
Of course. Yeah.
Romeo and Juliet ish.
Yeah. But that's
I
the
wanna
thing.
see a
This
movie.
is, you know what? This is why I hate religion so much.
Yeah.
It just really does not. It has so many rigid rules, and it doesn't allow people to just be themselves. That's why I say this all the time on stage,
But
off
sometimes
stage,
people
whatever.
like that because like they like the order of it. They like the
Why?
discipline and the order
Yeah.
of it.
The
you know?
world, honest to
We can't
God.
just run around fucking whoever we want.
Why? It's so hot. The Greeks did it for so long, and they were
Right.
like the most advanced society
Yeah,
ever.
that worked out for a while.
It worked out so well. So I
Well,
think
yeah. Try telling my girlfriend you want to.
Like the Greeks, babe.
Yeah, let's be like the Greeks.
But guys, honestly, wouldn't the world be a lot better off if people were closeted about their religious beliefs and open about their sexuality?
I think so.
So, like,
You never talk about it. I don't care if you're Christian, Jewish, if you be that
Is
at
that
home,
like a
but
tweet of yours
nobody
that
has.
went viral and you're repeating it?
It did, and I say it on stage all the time too.
Oh, okay.
It's
I
a
think
funny
that-
joke
yeah.
as well,
Nice. You know what I
That
want to
makes
see in a
sense,
movie?
yeah.
right?
You know what I want to see in a movie? I want to see a realistic portrayal of eating pussy because usually they do it where it's like really hot, but I want to see it where it's like, can I
Really
stop my
hard
neck?
work.
hard?
It's Act 2. It's
That's
like
so
all
good.
eating pussy. 30
I wanna
minutes.
So funny.
I want to see the one where the lady's like, "Can we just stop my neck really hard?" She's like, "I'm so close." And then when the lady finally comes, the other one has to just sit there and rub her neck for a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta go hug her.
Yeah. There's got to be neck exercises you can do to make that easier.
Oh,
you know,
for sure. Yeah. Work
I
your
mean,
core.
what?
Yeah, work your core.
Something. Yeah. I mean, I was doing some cunnilingus a few weeks ago, and like
It's a lot of
I
work.
I was literally I was in physical fucking pain.
Yeah, he's
And then
wearing a
she
neck
wouldn't-
brace right now. This
And then
is,
she wouldn't let me stop. So I'm going to Me Too her this week.
Why? You could have just you could have been like sit on your back and have her like come over to you.
Oh yeah, good
sit on your
idea.
face.
Sit on my face.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I don't think so.
She's got to be on her back, right, honey? Right, Deb? You got to be on your back.
69. You could be on your back. I don't know.
69. The first time I 69'd, I was on top.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it's so,
So
funny.
funny.
You're not supposed to do it that way. The girl's supposed to be on top. You're supposed to eat while she. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah. So my dick was just hanging down like a piece of prosciutto in my uncle's basement.
Yeah, it's like a cured meat just hanging.
It's just hanging. She's like, moving her neck up and down to. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, email the show if you want. sitdownpod@gmail.com. How do you keep your how do you keep your neck from hurting when you're going down on your wife? Huh?
Yeah.
But anyway, so maybe let's just get into some details about just life in Gaza. It's like a 40% unemployment rate. There's only electricity for like 2 or 3 hours a day. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like hell.
It's
There's
hell.
suicides. There's like so many suicides. So my feeling is like, if you're going to commit suicide, just take some rabbis, take a rabbi out with you on a bus, you know?
Shit.
Then you get your point across.
Yeah.
You don't want to kill yourself in vain. No, I don't know. But I was watching a video of Sam Harris talk to Dave Rubin, and Sam Harris, who's like the smartest guy in the world. You know, he's an
Please.
intellectual.
Is now.
He's made me hate atheists. I've always been like sort of a fan of people who didn't believe in God, but he's like an extremist atheist that is just now
He's
I'm
like snooty.
Well, that was the
he's
thing.
so snooty. Like, how could you make not believing in God so hateful?
Right.
I can't believe that.
But all
you
those
know?
guys are like that, and I
Yeah.
felt like that was either a trend, like in sort of sorry,
no.
oh boy,
Oh god.
I just kicked over Matt's equipment. Shelby's gonna be so mad.
Yeah, I'm sending her the minutes right now.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
The whole
Well,
thing
let's
is
Sorry, everybody.
come back after this.
We will be right back. Okay.
okay.
There we are.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
That's- I can't see it anymore, but I think we're good.
Yeah, but the hell was I going to say? Oh, so yeah. I mean, Sam Harris is the smartest guy in the world. Muslims are bad.
Yeah.
The ideology of Islam is very bad.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We need to fix Islam, everybody. You know. But
Hey, listen, I could agree to that to a certain extent of
Yeah.
that Islam needs reform. I mean, but I want everybody to remember that Islam used to be one of the most advanced religions ever. It had so much influence in the world. The reason we wash
yeah,
ourselves,
they invented coffee.
coffee, the soap.
Wait a minute. White people didn't invent washing themselves.
No, it was freaking Muslims who showed Europeans how to not. You remember
Really?
how like the British people with their whole like eating
wigs.
maggots and wigs and not washing themselves for like 3 months, and it was all of that shit.
What do they do?
So-
Sprinkle themselves with lye,
I
or
don't
just
know what
like
the fuck.
They
It was
invented
so gross.
they invented algebra, right?
Algebra,
coffee.
math, Uber drivers. I mean, we have so many things. But what did I want to say?
They invented saying the word my friend.
my friend. There you go. See, peaceful people, although angry.
Yeah.
We came up with them, my friend.
They invented talking through the whole cab ride.
Sociable.
They invented the
Sociable.
Bluetooth headset.
Yeah. Did you see the ads with the
That's the joke. I
the
guess
woman
that's
with
what I
the
wanted.
veil
No.
wearing her phone? That apparently they invented it because she would put her like phone through the hijab.
that's
Oh.
awesome.
Anyway, I'll send you guys pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
That you could post.
So that's
She's
like,
like, no, I don't. Let's keep the rule. She wants to keep talking on the phone in public.
So it's like a 2-part thing because then you get to carry the phone and then you don't distract the men with that body of yours, and then they can invent math. Maybe that's why the Muslims invented math, because they weren't thinking about pussy all the time.
Right.
I think you might be onto something. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really love your theories.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But
So Sam Harris. So there is.
Yeah.
Listen, religion needs reform for sure. I mean, I think whoever came up with
can you
religion.
be more like a Muslim woman and stop talking over me, please?
But honestly, I think whoever came up with religion was like a drunk guy in a cave 3,000 years ago. Every rule about it sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially like Jews and Muslims of like, don't eat pork, cut off a piece from your penis. Like, how
Yeah.
did that fucking shit catch on?
I
don't
feel
get
like it was just one guy who wanted a little money, so he started a collection plate, and he's like, "Hey, I don't like pork in my soup." He's like, he
Yeah.
just started making rules that benefited himself.
Well, the
That's
Bible says not to eat pork because pigs are inherently unclean. They like eat their own shit and stuff like that. So it was
But their
probably
shit,
like,
rabbits eat their own shit and they're
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah, what's that about
but
women
I
not
think-
being able to drive? Is that a different thing?
that's just common sense.
That's not in the Bible.
Yeah, that's just called fewer car accidents on the road. You're driving the city. I hate like that whole. We need to do an entire episode on the stereotype of Asians not being able to
Asians
drive.
and women.
Yeah.
But what is that?
Is that even real? I've heard of the
Matt,
stereotype.
do you
but
drive?
I've never been in an accident with an Asian before,
Or a woman.
or a woman. Well, I've been in an accident with a woman.
Yeah. Whose fault was that? Say it was you. Say it was
It
you.
was me.
Usually usually it's the
Bullying
guy.
me into admitting fault. That's all you got to do. It was you. It was you.
Usually it's some Dominican guy in a Dodge Charger who's like racing his friend, and
Right.
they crash into a fucking school bus.
Yeah,
you know?
or some guy that has like a 6-person Uber who's fucking trying to make way more money than he should be able to with Uber.
Yeah. Matt's very lucky to be a part of the show, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's so awesome. He looks exactly like my nephew. You really have to send me a baby picture.
will.
But it's really
later.
nice of me to like bring him along for this
Yeah.
endeavor, right? He makes money from the show.
I was gonna say earlier, if you were worried about people not liking you, all you got to do is throw a few insults my way, and they'll be on board.
Oh,
you know?
really?
Yeah.
Why? Because you're like the progressive
That's right,
voice
bitch.
on the show. So
Progressive. Matt has no ideology
No.
Right.
besides being from the Midwest. Okay. Yeah.
People have said that I lack character.
they're like, why?
I mean, I just like I'll try to have like a strong take and like be like, "This is funny," and then I'll be like, "No, I'm just kidding." And Mike's like, "No, you have to hate."
But I
Yeah.
mean, your inherent problem is your life has had no stakes and no consequences. So you just kind of like coast your way through.
Yeah.
So you've never really had to like fight for anything or hustle.
The
or,
white privilege.
You just
Yeah.
you just kind of like walk around with your backpack full of equipment and you're fine.
I mean that
You know?
that would make sense
Like-
if
like
I
what was,
wasn't
like,
in the
the lowest-
military, right?
But you're in the Air Force.
Though the easiest of the branches.
Yeah.
right.
What was like the lowest point of your
the
life?
country club of fucking
Is
armed
that the
services?
easiest for real? Or are
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
being sarcastic?
No, my basic training. I mean, I don't know if it's
Yeah.
still like this. Basic training was 6.5 weeks, and like the Marines is 13.
Oh, wow.
So
Oh, okay.
6.5
Yeah, you just got to lean into
versus
whatever
13.
Whatever
Yeah.
Do you
are.
fly, though? Are you
no,
a pilot?
I was just a computer boy.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's like really easy. I
Yeah.
mean, not, but it's like IT stuff. Like
right. It's
not
IT for the pussies.
Okay. I see.
What was the lowest point of? What was your question?
What was like the lowest point of your life?
I lost $1,000 gambling in slots when I was 18.
Yeah,
Wow.
And that's like
See, here's-
all the money I had.
here's how disgusted I am by the Midwest. I did a,
They were like 15-line slots, and I lost $1,000 in a night.
Oh my God, that's the lowest point in your life.
yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Oh my God, so lucky.
Have you ever wanted to have you ever lost enough
$1,000.
money?
You know
where
what I
you're so
lost
mad
on-
at yourself and you wanted to kill
know-
yourself?
You know what I lost on Canadian weed?
How much?
A lot.
More than 1,000?
Yeah.
What's your low point, Mike?
My low point, probably when I thought about killing myself because I was talking to this girl when I moved to New York, and then she went home one night with Daniel Tosh because we worked at the same comedy
yeah.
club.
No.
And I was
You've
like,
said
I
that
just
before,
moved here
yeah.
and I'm nothing and I have no money and I just wanted to die.
Yeah, she made you think you guys were going to go out for drinks, and then she just kept on hanging out with the headliner.
Yeah.
Are
anyway.
they still together?
Oh yeah. Oh
Do
yeah.
they
They're
love
married.
each other?
Yeah, they're married with 3 kids.
Imagine.
No,
Oh, my God.
he fucked her and lost her number.
And you should have been the one that did that.
He came on her back and then blocked her phone, blocked her phone number.
In that moment, Mike vowed that he would headline Caroline.
Yeah, someday. And then I did a breakout artist. Okay, anyway. I'm so just if we can get off topic a little bit.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm so offended by the Midwest like mediocrity. Like I did the showcase in Columbus to audition for a club. So I do this set. There's these 3 women. So I fucking fly to Columbus, okay, for this horse,
we're
for this
spinning
horse
up.
shit, for this fucking horse shit. And so like I fly to Columbus. I do this set. These women talk through the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And you know, it was one of those hecklers where it's like you're not going to shut them up.
Yeah.
You know, because you can tell from the way that
'Cause
they're
are they
responding.
drunk
to you.
or what?
They're drunk.
Yeah.
They're drunk and they're just shitty and they're arrogant. They're like making fun of my shoe. They're like making
What
comments
time was
about my
the show?
shoes. It was like 7 o'clock
7 o'clock Friday or Saturday?
Thursday.
They shouldn't be drunk.
Yeah, it sounds weird because Friday I would
Yeah.
understand, but Thursday
Yeah.
7 so
7
early.
o'clock, yeah.
But they're like making comments about my shoes and stuff. So I'm just like, and then I was like, you know, shut these whores up. I got the crowd on my side. And everyone was like, yeah. And I was like, kick them out. And then one guy even like stood up when I told him to shut up. So it's like I sort of like turned the room as best as you could. It's not
Right.
like that situation's ever gonna go perfect, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's like in
It's
the
always awkward.
Right.
And that's more of in the movies and stuff like that where
It's like when I got booed when
and then
when Trump
and then
got
I fucked his wife, you know, like yeah, go ahead.
when Trump got elected and I got booed by 2 like really drunk hecklers from
Yeah.
the Midwest.
Right.
Who were hammered, and I said,
we should nuke it.
Yeah, I said I'm Muslim, and they were just like, "Boo, go home, you terrorist!"
Yeah,
but
yeah.
thankfully, because we're in New York City and it was at Gotham, Chelsea, so lots of gays.
Yeah, good.
Were just like, "Boo, you guys get the fuck out of here!" Anyway,
get
so it was
out?
like the audience like took care of the situation.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
But it's like so scary, and I was like really scared because I'm Canadian too, right? So I'm
Well,
like, I don't
9
know if they
times out
have
of
like
10, yeah, the
fucking
crowd-
guns or something.
Right.
The crowd is on your side usually when
Thank
that,
God.
when that happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
But
Yeah.
sorry, I
Did they say-
interrupted you again. I'm so un-Muslim, ladylike.
Did they say where they were from in the Midwest?
I can't remember. But this happened like
It's
right
just-
around the election.
Oof, I hope it wasn't Minnesota.
They were hammered. Probably not. Minnesota's so like
we're
Canadian.
We're the good ones,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Thank
Minnesota's
you.
pretty Canadian.
Yeah.
Why don't you two just,
America's top hat.
all right, do you two want to just do your own show?
Yeah.
And I'll get out of here?
yeah. Sorry.
So sorry.
Yeah.
So what happened in the end? So a guy
Wait,
stood
Matt,
up.
can you cut your own microphone off for a
yeah,
second?
here we go.
Hell yeah. That's my I've never done that before. It feels good. All right, so Matt's microphone is cut off, so
Yeah.
it's just going to be me and you for the next
Okay.
couple minutes. Deborah, I cut off Matt's microphone. All right, but anyway, I like this. But so I do the set.
Can I
and
get
then,
you
like,
to take a picture of me and Mike because I can't get over his outfit right now. And I wore this tracksuit for him, my finest tracksuit
This is great
for my
yeah.
episode.
Yeah, send it.
Thank
Can you send it to me?
Okay.
All right. So anyway, the point is that the Midwest sucks because this lady, because I've performed in Ohio a few times in the past year, and this lady this lady like gives me feedback, and it's very rare that you get feedback to your face from a booker, so I did really like respect that about her, and I appreciate it. She's like, yeah, it was a good set. She's like, some of your stuff probably won't fly in like a Midwest room, you're gonna alienate some women. And it's just like, yeah, because like that's what like the Midwest is. It's just people who are like content to be nothing. Like you're nothing. You fucking you panic because they shut down the mine because like now I don't know what to do. There's no coal mine anymore. It's like, you fucking figure it out. Make something of yourself. Yeah. Get off your fucking ass like the Palestinians need to. Get off your fucking ass and like hustle and survive. You just roll over and die. So they're just so it's so fucking like
they don't understand irony.
Just that the white mediocrity is so fucking offensive to me. I just love living in New York, having gay Muslim friends. It feels so fucking good.
Yeah.
It feels so good. I love it. But anyway.
I mean, like diversity is the key for why New York is so cool. Otherwise, we'd be like, the whole country would be a bunch of hillbillies.
The whole country would be a Target. A Midwest Target. Where it's fat people with flat asses.
Yeah. That is a true stereotype.
That's the most tragic body, the overweight woman with the flat ass.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
And the man is so much worse. They get away with it. Like how we've accepted how a man could look
be fat.
Like a fucking, the blueberry kid on Willy Wonka.
Yeah.
Just goes out.
But also it's like all these Midwesterners are like, I don't know what to do. I can't screw bolts into a block anymore at the GM factory.
This almost sounds
time
like an
to kill
Amish
myself.
accent.
It's like, you know how many times I've been like let go from a job and then you're just gonna cry and vote for Trump? You fucking goon.
I feel like that was a Minnesotan accent.
Is that what you guys sound like?
Yeah, he was getting after it.
Oh, I don't know.
It sounds like my mom even.
I'm stupid.
All right,
not that
that
part.
didn't.
Here's my impression of Matt's mom. I got 2 vaginas instead of 1. Am I right, folks? Anyway.
Yeah.
But okay, so I have been trying to.
Okay, so Gaza.
So Gaza. So Sam Harris. Okay, so I'm listening to Sam Harris talk to Dave Rubin, 2 just intellectual giants of this modern age, and I just think like Sam Harris is so funny to me because he must be a bright guy in the field of neuroscience or something.
Yeah.
So like he must be like smart, but it's just like in terms of like him like probably having friends, I'm sure that's like lacking a little bit. Just having like a diverse group of people that you talk to, because he said he was like, I I feel like maybe I'm a little biased towards the Israelis because they don't have suicide bombers, And it's like, what a brilliant, amazing point that you just made. Wow, that is genius. Oh, one side has suicide bombers and the other one doesn't. And then Dave Rubin was like, yeah, I think if Palestine had Israel's weapons, there would be a genocide tomorrow, probably.
Oh yeah, that's another all of those propaganda stuff. Like, look how many weapons Israelis have and Palestinians still exist. If it was the opposite, it wouldn't be the case. It's just like they have this fucking textbook with all of these like not stupid, but these lies that makes them look so innocent. And they're just like trying to go about life, but they have this disgusting Arab neighbors who just want to kill all of them.
Well, here's another one they always say. They always go, in Hamas's official charter, it says to wipe out all
Not anymore.
the Jews. Okay.
Not anymore.
Hell
Officially
yeah.
not anymore.
I
promise you.
That was like the rough
Taken
draft.
down, bitch.
Yeah.
No, I'm just asking because that is a talking point they always
I
say.
promise you. And they're always
Right.
like, look at the Palestinians. They're not united. And Hamas and Abbas's party started talking. Like all of this stuff Israelis have been like living on and just like using as propaganda has been dismantled in the past.
Do you think maybe that was the rough draft of the charter? They were like, hello, gentlemen, we're going to write our charter. They're like, what do you want in here? And they're like, kill all the Jews.
Yeah.
They're like, all right,
they just got a little too excited. The coffee was a little too strong.
Yeah, they're like, we'll keep
that.
that. We'll come back. We'll come back.
Yeah, I don't know. But the existence of, whatever Israelis complain about towards Hamas is their actual charter towards Palestinians, because the Palestinian existence has not been a priority on anybody's list, it seems like. But God forbid somebody says, Israel shouldn't exist. But Palestinians not existing, nobody gives a shit. We haven't had a country or a passport or recognition from the whole world for 70 years, and nobody
Right.
seems to care about that. I mean,
Right.
what the fuck?
Do you have any allies in that region? Like,
I mean, the only
to you?
country, surprisingly, that was like nice to us, but they have nothing. They're broke. It's always broke people that
Yeah,
stick
yeah.
to broke people.
Sure.
But Greece was actually the one country that it took a while for Greece to recognize Israeli existence.
oh, good. That's good. If you're sick
The
of Palestine, you can. If you have no job, if you live in Gaza, you have no job, you can go to Greece.
Where you
there's-
continue to
where
be
there's so
brown.
many,
Yeah.
where there's so many jobs. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was
Wow.
actually the only one country that would let us travel to it without a passport or visa or anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I've been there a few times
Okay. Now,
back in the day.
how did your family get out of Palestine?
So they both came from prominent families. They had a bit of money, although so both sets of my parents and their families have seen wealth and poverty twice in their lifetime. My mom's family, they're from Jaffa. They literally left with the clothes on their back, left their house, left everything, had nothing. My grandfather died shortly after from just like being so depressed because he couldn't,
Yeah.
7 kids, the whole thing, disaster. My dad's side of the family, they were more political from Jerusalem and Gaza. Shit that they don't believe, Israelis don't believe. My grandmother went to a German boarding school in Palestine. So this is the uncivilized people that you're talking about that apparently had nothing.
Yeah.
Both sets of grandparents spoke like 2 or 3 languages back in the day. They're like more educated than our fucking parents' education,
Yeah.
And they both kind of left with the little money that they had. They went to Egypt, studied in Egypt. My father worked in Libya for a while. Then luckily the Gulf countries discovered oil and that made them really wealthy. But because they didn't have much education because they were literally like fishermen, illiterate fishermen. Gulf countries before discovering oil had nothing. So they went to Middle Eastern countries that were a bit more advanced and asked them to open school and become teachers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So to help them manage
Yeah,
their
lead the
money, their
way.
new wealth, that helped Palestinians a lot because Palestinians were very well educated. They were able to sort of help build Gulf countries.
Yeah.
My mom's family ended up getting a Saudi passport, which is unheard of for Palestinians to ever get a passport from another
Wonder what your
Arab country.
mom did to get that.
Not my mother, but her aunts who like opened school in Saudi Arabia. Anyway,
Okay.
But then the Gulf War happened in 1990, and my parents had to. We literally had to leave the house in the middle of the night
Again.
with nothing.
Yeah.
Not a little more than what they had back then, but and moved to Canada.
Yeah.
And it's such a hot movie.
Yeah,
You're on
Hasidic
my-
women are pretty.
I mean,
pretty
Jewish
hot, eh?
women, I got to think for them. Look at that scene. I mean, how hot is that?
Yeah, Matt, wish you could get over here and watch this. with us.
Yeah. Have you just been watching a movie?
She's on my page.
The
but
trailer.
Oh,
now,
okay,
was it good or was it just? Do you think you're biased because it was?
A gay movie?
Yeah.
No, it was fucking
Are
hot.
they hot?
I mean, Rachel McAdams and Rachel Weisz, they're like both very
Okay.
attractive and they make out a lot in the movie and it's just very sexy. And the whole like forbidden aspect of being a Hasidic, they're both Hasidics,
Was
but
there
Rachel,
any part of you where you're like, this isn't real? This isn't real. These aren't real lesbians.
No, I believed automatically, but I'm a huge like a romantic comedy
Right.
fan. I'm so into all of that, like make believe stuff. This is like why I liked America growing up. All of that. I'm an idealist. I like to believe in that stuff.
Can I ask you a question
Sure.
Mike might be afraid to? Do you think they portrayed eating pussy correctly in that movie?
I think so.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Thank God you're here to ask the tough questions. I'm looking at Hasidic Jews porn.
Okay, I'll come
Which is-
across for the couch for that.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh boy, what kind of noises? Then
I mean, what
probably the
kind
same.
of website is that? Is that what
this is
came
Pornhub.
up?
Pornhub, yeah.
Pornhub.
Hasidic Jews porn, which is not even correct.
Yeah, that's like cartoon porn.
Yeah. No, well, some of it.
Do they have real
But
Hasids?
but actually,
anyway, the
it's funny.
movie's
Once
really
a,
hot.
once a woman is naked, she's not really Hasidic anymore.
That's true. Good point.
she's just a naked lady
Very good
with
point.
a big schnoz.
Oh God! Can you guys
anyway,
watch?
yeah.
Can you let me know? Can you watch? That should be a
Watch the
discussion.
movie?
That should be a discussion. One of your episodes. Talk about disobedience. Two straight guys
I'm
watching
gonna watch
that.
it, and I'm gonna send you
It's
my
gotta
baby
be-
photo. Now, creepy and weird.
Yeah, your baby photo.
Yeah.
Watch disobedience. Yes, please.
It's got to be related to crime, though, in some way.
Oh well,
I
maybe
guess.
the crime of lesbianism. Is that a crime for
Ooh.
straight men?
I think we
Somewhat?
could twist it into an episode for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why not?
The organized crime of scissoring.
Yeah, teaching our youth about scissoring through books in
Okay,
liberal
guys.
colleges.
Oh, yeah.
What else do we have to talk about
Yeah.
You got to go?
soon?
No.
I have to. Don't forget, I have to go to Jersey. Isn't that like 7 hours away
Yeah,
by
we're-
train?
We're wrapping
it's
up
not
here
too
too. We're
far.
coming up on an
Maybe
hour.
2. Yeah. Okay. So here's the last question that I want to ask you, and I don't know. Maybe it's like obvious, but I guess my question for you is like the relationship between the United States and the Western world and Israel. Can you talk about that a little bit, and can you sort of explain why there is all this like oppression and propaganda around what we're seeing now?
Like the
Wow, I
relationship.
should be a journalist.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
you're so.
Whenever
that
I
was
talk-
so eloquent.
No,
too.
whenever
Yeah.
I talk smart, I'm
Yeah.
surprised.
But the thing is, like,
whenever I use a word like
right.
obsequiously or something, like a big
Ooh.
word.
That's a
I'm
big
like-
one. What
I'm
does that
like
mean?
proud
I
of
don't even
myself.
know
I
what that
used to-
means.
I don't even know what it means.
Oh, darn.
I don't even know what juxtapose means.
I feel.
Anyway,
Juxtapose. Is it like some kind of pen?
I think that's like two
painting?
things going across each other,
I don't
meaning.
know.
But like the trick about being a journalist is like you ask that smart question at the White House press briefing, and then like you get this stupidest answer in response. You have to be like, "Oh,
She's
gee, thank you for that great answer."
you're stupid. You smell. Sarah Huckabee.
Yeah.
It's just like
That's a beautiful woman, Mike.
she is a beautiful woman. Don't talk about my wife that way.
Right.
I love her.
Okay.
Is there there's something attractive about her?
She looks like someone. I can't remember who, or I can't put it together. But she looks like some kind of actress, right?
Yeah.
That looked like a very fun festival.
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at your
Oh yeah.
laptop right now, Clusterfest.
Wait,
Okay,
let's
the
just Google Sarah
relationship.
Huckabee though.
The relationship between Israel and the Western world, and why they hate Muslims so much. Is that your question?
Yeah. So I know part of it was like Israel was a good influence to like against the Soviet Union's allies, right?
Right.
Like Israel.
Well,
was
it's
a good,
like it's
in that region.
a strategic to have an ally in that part of the world.
Right. I just feel like it's so far away. Why do people care that much?
Yeah.
You know? Just fucking hang out in here and enjoy yourself.
Well, yeah,
It's so fucking
Jews
far.
and Muslims live together here in peace. So I think eventually that's what's going to happen in Israel. One state solution, coexisting. It's going to be like Australia, England,
Yeah.
the United States, Canada, where everybody just lives
I
together.
just hope it can
But
be
why-
inclusive, right?
I want it to be, and that's why I think the end game is going to be like South Africa, and
Yeah.
black and
Yeah.
white people live together. White people still have a bit more power, but still, at least black
Yeah.
And
people
then
have
white people
light.
just get stabbed in the neck every once in a while at the grocery store.
They need a soccer team, I feel.
Palestinians have one.
Well, I mean, like,
But that's the
that
thing.
Israel gets excited about, you know, like if they're like good and
They
you
would
know,
never get
they all
excited about
unite under
Palestinian.
one soccer team.
Matt, you're talking a lot on this episode.
You're absolutely. Let me.
No, it's good.
I'm like a turtle.
So
Yeah.
who does she look like? Doesn't she look like some kind of actress?
She looks like the fucked up version of like a beautiful actress,
Yes.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Like she looks
Exactly.
like God tried to make like Nev Campbell and he fucked up.
But not
He
Nev
threw her in the
Campbell.
trash.
Who's
No,
the
but somebody.
actress? She looks like somebody.
Maybe Jennifer Carpenter a little bit. She looks
Who's
like a
that?
fucked up
I need to
Jennifer
Google.
Carpenter.
from Dexter.
Oh,
I don't know, but you're right. She looks like
yeah.
she looks like
Maybe.
the first take of. She looks like
Oh, for a rough draft.
when they made that sculpture of Lucille Ball and it was really ugly and they had to take it down. That's what she looks like. Anyway, so yeah, let's just talk about the Western world's relationship with Israel.
I don't know. I guess they have a bit more commonality than they do with Muslims. It's always you're always afraid of what's different than you. And when Arabs came about after they started moving to the Western world, I think people were like, "Oh my God, they're so different from us."
Yeah.
we like the Jews so much better now.
Oh, yeah.
We have so many more in common
Sure.
with them than
Right.
we do with these scary people that hate their women. And
But it also always seems to come
rape
down
people.
to like big money too. Like I'm sure corporations could make a lot more money off of supporting Israel than they do Palestine.
For sure.
Because the Palestinians don't even know how to farm.
We don't know how to farm. We have
They
no
can't even-
money.
We have like
nothing.
lobbyist groups against even like debating who we should support. You know?
Really?
Yeah, Israel. It has like it's like a LPAC or something.
What
Yeah,
a cunt.
Alpaca
She just
came-
walked out.
Huh?
Nikki Haley
Nikki
just
Haley
walked
just
out.
walked
Yeah,
out.
she did. She's a total cunt.
She is.
Yeah.
And I don't use that word lightly.
No, she deserves it though.
Yeah.
I tweeted that too. I tweeted that she was a cunt
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm.
But yeah, somebody told me I had my old therapist. I'm in searching for a therapist. By the way, it's such a hard thing to find. Clicking with people, it's like
Yeah.
dating.
Go see Dr.
right?
Allen.
Right.
It's so.
It's got to be the right fit. Yeah.
What
It
about
really
Dr.
does.
Allen?
Who's Dr. Allen?
He's the guy all the comics go to.
I don't know who that is. Is he good? Have you guys been to him? Do you know?
Yeah,
I don't
he's,
know.
No, he's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll
He's
try.
great. Yeah.
Is he a Zionist though?
Oh, I don't know.
First
Probably
question.
not. He's super liberal.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you
Like
could be
annoyingly
super.
liberal.
A lot of Jews could be so liberal and still so right wing about Israel.
Right.
That's another thing that my wife and I discovered talking to people.
Okay.
Super liberal, super pro everything left. But when it comes to Israel, they're just like,
I feel
"Don't
like it's
touch it."
changing though,
you're just
right?
a
With-
brunch.
It is because now you
Yeah.
can see the truth. The
Social
truth
media
is
is
a
like,
lot more
ugh.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now it's like really running on thin. You
Yeah.
can't be. Yeah. You can't deny the atrocities Israel has.
Israel's
been doing.
like part of Trump, and like they're just like blindly like hitting you
Supportive.
with like this is the story.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
But I guess you do have an affinity for people who, like, if you've been there. Like, Deb and I went to Croatia last year.
I
which,
love
like,
Croatia. I
never
told
even-
you.
Yeah,
I gave you
yeah,
some
yeah.
tips.
Yeah, but like I didn't even know anything about that country, and now because I've been there, I'm like all about it.
You love it.
know?
Yeah.
So it's like, so imagine like you go overseas to a place. Like anytime I guess there's a long flight, you probably feel connected.
To the country.
Yeah.
No,
'cause
I
feel
went to
more
Egypt
connected
from
to-
Canada, and I was like, I don't like
I
this
feel
place.
nothing.
Oh,
for
you
it.
didn't like
Yeah.
Egypt? You didn't like Egypt?
I didn't care for it.
Oh.
I really didn't care for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why? Too many Muslims?
Too many Muslims. They're so homophobic.
Yeah.
No,
Really?
I just thought that it just made me sad because the country, they don't maintain their like amazing historic sites
Okay.
properly.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Italy's-
was just
Italy's big on that.
disappointed with that stuff. Yeah.
And I feel like this has been said a bunch of times too, but imagine like maybe there's so much support for Israel because it's like you're going overseas and then you're 18 and you're a virgin and you get the finger for the first time
Yeah,
over there.
yeah,
So you're
yeah.
always going to
Oh,
have that
birthright?
that
Birthright, yeah.
trip. So you're always going to have that
Enrollment.
connection.
They should
with the
switch that
place.
to living
Where-
right
where
because
Rebecca-
it's so wrong that it's
Yeah.
called birthright and it's
Oh,
for
okay.
Jews.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. But you're always going to remember the place where Rebecca
fingered somebody for the
Rebecca
first time.
Schwartz let you touch her pussy.
Yeah, you're right. Well, the
Yeah.
whole point is to have like Jews fall for each other so you could,
It's paradise
Yeah.
over there.
for sure.
Yeah.
Nothing's going wrong.
Yeah.
We should do a thing where we send people to Gaza. We should send Matt to Gaza.
Girls would love him. I mean, look at him
Yeah.
with his blonde hair.
They'd
and
worship
blue
you like a
eyes.
god over there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Shelly
true.
wouldn't be too
It'd
happy
start,
about
it'd
that.
start carrying you around in a throne made out of garbage. He's our new king.
Yeah.
No,
I want my Sarah Huckabee statue.
I'm basically being dehumanizing like everybody else. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. You know that was a joke, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think anybody would worship him like a god.
Why? He's so
Anyway.
adorable.
I don't think anybody.
Everybody knows I'm joking, right? Okay, good.
All right, so let's wrap up in a few minutes. So I,
What else?
Matt, just one last thing I want to talk to you about. Matt has a little segment
Oh.
idea that he wanted to.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I wanted to start talking about some gangster type stuff from have a fun time of this maple syrup heist from Quebec.
I almost did that too. Oops. Yeah.
I was like, Matt,
tell-
we're going to talk to Eman about. We're going to talk to we're going to talk to a Palestinian woman who's married to a Jewish woman about Israel, and then he was like, and also some guy stole some syrup.
Yeah.
Can we discuss that? a little bit?
Can we lighten the mood a little bit? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is serious what's happening, but I thought it would be fun to talk about this weird story.
It is so weird. I never really followed it so closely, so you're going to have to inform me on exactly what it is you want to talk about.
So basically, it's like these three guys,
Father, son, and somebody else.
Yeah,
a friend.
Yeah, there's a owner of the warehouse. There's a barrel roller, he's called, and then there's a buyer of the illegal syrup, right? So in 2011. These guys all figured out like this. It's basically like it's like OPEC, but it's FPAC. They have their own cartel where they regulate the price of maple syrup. That's why it costs like $15 a bottle. It's very expensive right now.
Yeah.
They stole almost 10,000 barrels, almost $19 million worth of maple syrup.
Wow.
By emptying these barrels in this warehouse,
Filling it up with water.
filling it back up with water for a year.
These guys got caught?
Yeah, they eventually got caught.
Do you know how they got caught? Was it like somebody who realized finally this is like, why is this so watery?
Well, like they're supposed to inspect yearly, so it just seemed like time was against them. Eventually, they were going to find out. Because like what happened was...
Now, they own the warehouse?
Well, one of the people got in trouble. He was one of the owners of it. Because they had to, like, the police like had no idea where to start, so they're just like, everybody... They like started so wide and they narrowed it down to like this guy that had a prior like fraud conviction who owned the warehouse or was a part owner.
So he got like fired because he's a criminal. And
Well,
then he ended up...
yeah, all that heat was because he had that prior fraud thing.
So it was so easy to be like, obviously the criminal is the criminal in this case.
They had to. They saw some scratched up barrels and they like went and looked for like rented forklifts, and then they found the guy.
So funny.
And then they found the burner phones. They found the texts and stuff, and they got all three of these guys. And what a heist!
Wow.
Anyway.
I mean, I thought it was a joke the first time I saw it in headlines. I was like, oh, is this like the Canadian onion? We have the Canadian onion, the beaver tin.
Yeah. Well, you're a syrup expert. So
I'm
what can
not
you tell
a
us
syrup
about
expert.
Yeah.
I thought so when I first heard about it, I thought it was a joke. And then I was like caught up with other news, Palestinians dying. So I didn't read it.
This is a very privileged news story.
In so much detail. Yeah.
Right.
But maple syrup is great. Canadian maple syrup is wonderful. My question is does Vermont have, I guess Vermont has its own syrup, but the Canadian one is better? Or are we the suppliers?
They are the suppliers. So like all the smuggled syrup got sold in New Brunswick, which is like they're unregulated. It's a free market. They're not like this FPAC, and then like also went to Vermont.
Yeah.
So I think they have a little bit, but they don't have anywhere near
as much as we have.
Yeah. They have like this suction system. They just tap the trees and add like a little vacuum.
Yes. Well, have you ever gone sugar shacking?
No.
In Canada?
It's
a
like
fun
a blast.
thing. It's really a fun thing. Sugar shacking. So you go and you have maple syrup, like everything. The whole meal is maple syrup. The whole, you're getting sap from the tree. You're getting, maple syrup on snow. It's
like a popsicle.
Very fun. Yeah, it's a very fun experience.
Interesting.
Maybe that's what Jews and Palestinians should do together. Is go to
Maybe
instead of birthright, is go to Canada, sugar shack together.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good story though. It's like
it's not a bad idea.
The guys that run this FPAC are like these they're like these nerdy people that have never had power. So now that they have a little bit of power regulating the market, they can like force people to join. And then like it's like this weird system now where they like have this like stranglehold over maple syrup in Quebec.
And has the price gone up after this whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's way up there. It's like 10 times the price of a barrel of oil.
No,
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a barrel of maple syrup costs $1,200.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
But why is it like
How big is a barrel?
It's like a fucking 60-pound. It's like huge. It's like a fucking Donkey Kong barrel.
See, why do we live in Brooklyn? Why are we in the woods living off the fucking land?
I don't know.
Huh?
Well, they fucking mess with us. Like these guys, like they suck. Yeah. The people that stole, nice.
The trees, yeah.
Suck the trees.
Yeah.
Suck them trees' dicks. Yeah.
I'm here to tell you about a story about syrup that really sucks.
You could go live in Vermont. They're looking for people to live in Vermont and work on farming stuff.
They're looking for people to live in Vermont.
Like on the farm. It sounds so good. And you get like help from the government, Israeli style. But you actually get some money to live, like $10,000 or something, and you help them like with their farming and stuff like that. Because like that group of people is like older and they're
Yeah.
like dying off, and their kids are not taking it over. I guess maybe.
Who would want
I
to
don't
do that?
know. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's so crazy. I can't believe that syrup is more expensive than oil.
It's pretty insane.
That's nuts.
The main guy got tricked into pleading guilty. That's my favorite part of the story. Is
Yeah.
his lawyer like recommended him to plead guilty, and then like hearing his sentence of like 5 years, he like demanded a trial. He's like, "No, this motherfucker tricked me." It's like, this is bullshit. And it's pretty funny. And the judge just like told him to fuck off. You don't care about human health. You guys transported this
Interesting.
maple syrup in bad containers, and people got sick.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, you know how else you can tell Sam Harris is a jerk?
Yeah.
He does all the housekeeping at the beginning of his show, so you have to fast forward like 6 or 7 minutes in, because he just talks about himself and his website and
Oh my God.
how to give him money. Because you know those blue shirts don't grow on trees. Everybody. But we do our housekeeping at the end of the show, and you know what? I really think we got back in our groove with this episode. I think this is one of the better episodes.
Oh, Mr. Scene got his groove back.
No, but this is like one of the more fun episodes I think we've done in a while.
Covered a lot of cool shit. I mean,
had
not
so much
cool,
fun.
but
You
Good.
guys
I
are
mean-
great. I love your dynamic together.
thank you.
Thanks. He is
It's
getting,
a very
he is getting a
unlikely connection. I don't know
Right?
how did you guys get together?
He has equipment.
That's it.
Yeah, he's like every time he's like, once I learn these knobs, you're done for, baby. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
But do you want to plug anything?
Well, it's Pride Month, and I have a lot of cool shows. I'm doing Shelby's show actually tomorrow night. I don't know when this airs, so when
This will
should I
come out
promote?
this Wednesday.
So this Wednesday. So anything after Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm doing a really cool, actually, Pride show at the Public Hotel on June 23rd, Saturday, June 23rd, at the Public Hotel, 8:30 p.m. Very crazy lineup. Lisa Traeger, Julio Torres, me. Yeah, so a lot. I'm actually very, very excited because I have a lot of shows in New York. I'm here the entire month. I was in May. I traveled quite a bit in Canada, but in June I'm here the whole time. So
It is
happy
over
to
for
be in
straights,
New
huh?
York. Yeah. It's
Oh, and
over for
then-
straights. Well, during Pride, at least, I would hope so. Although you
Yeah.
guys should have a proud straight show during
Oh
Pride.
yeah,
Why not?
that'd be great. Wow, what a good idea.
No?
No one would have a problem with that.
You
Counter
don't think so?
programming. Come on, there's a
proud-
market.
And then we could also have a proud white show and a proud male
Oh my
show.
God, they tried to have that, the White Guys Matter show. What a stupid
Oh,
thing.
look.
yeah, you know who really
Oliver
thinks
ruined another episode. Guys, Deb has a couple things she wants to plug real quick.
You can do it yourself. I don't have to. Mike and I have a comedy show coming up in Bed-Stuy on June
Ooh.
14th at 9 o'clock. Yeah. It's what's the Bravi Yeah.
The food, guys, maybe eat before you come. It's not the greatest food on the planet. We had dinner there the other night, and it led to a big fight. Because let me just tell you something. You like cheese, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now look. Hey, it's criticism. All right. People criticize the shit I do. I'll tell this guy to his face. His cheese board fucking sucks.
Okay, well,
Hold on a second. This is my show. I will not let you
Thank you,
or you
Iman.
hijack it. Wait,
okay.
stop.
But the thing is that this guy just got into business.
You guys are Hamasing my show.
I'm done here. I
no,
want
go
to
ahead.
hear what Deborah has
No,
to
all right,
say.
fine. Go ahead. But can I just say something real quick? You like cheese, right?
I do.
Okay, we ordered this cheese board the other night, $11, which is like a good price for
That's
a
not
cheese
bad
board.
at all.
Not a bad price.
I mean, Manhattan, some of those cheese boards are like upwards of $18 or $20. So I was like, oh, this is a good price. But the guy brings this fucking cheese board out, okay? Here's what was on the cheese board. Ricotta.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's horrible.
Ricotta. Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
I have to agree. Ricotta should not be on a cheese board.
Yeah.
Buffalo mozzarella.
Okay.
Interesting choice.
Gorgonzola. Ooh, I don't know what that tastes like.
Yeah.
Just eat I'm just supposed to eat a block of gorgonzola. It felt like a fuck you.
I agree. I agree that that's bad.
Wait. One more cheese. I forget which kind of cheese it was. It was some kind of Gouda. No. Oh, I never end. You talk.
Well, maybe that's why it's $11
Deborah,
and not $18.
You never stop talking. This podcast is the only time I get to talk all fucking week. All right.
Make a fucking point. Next.
Wait, Amon.
Oh god.
Some kind of Gouda, which is pretty good. And then how about this? Parmesan. Like little pieces of Parmesan.
Okay, but that's a lot of cheeses.
I never eat Parmesan. I never had Parmesan before.
It's true that it's weird choices that he had.
What am
but
I,
it
a
is
$6-year-old?
$11. But you had a lot. You had, and it was probably a big plate
Yeah, I
because
had a
the
lot, but
cheeses
it's
are
not like I
not.
finished it. It's not like I'm gonna eat a big chunk of gorgonzola.
It's
Like I don't know
true.
what the fuck that is. It probably came out of like a plastic tin or something.
Okay, and
Come on.
my
Go ahead.
defense is,
Yeah.
what does
guy
this
just
have
went
to
into
do with
business.
me? You ordered the cheese plate.
Because I didn't know what was on it.
Me
He didn't say what
neither.
was
so
on it.
why? What does that have to do with me?
He didn't say what was on the cheese
Okay,
plate.
but we have a comedy
That's a-
show
that's a-
on June
Anyway, go there for
14th
comedy.
at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
Don't get the cheese
I
plate.
did not want the cheese plate. Mike goes to a pizza place in Bed-Stuy and orders a cheese plate and the lasagna. And he's surprised it's not
I wasn't
meeting
even going to
his
complain about the lasagna.
expectations.
I wasn't even going to complain about the lasagna.
Okay, well, anyway,
But now that we're here,
which was abysmal.
Deborah went to the
Which
pizza
was-
place for
which was
pizza and
worse-
margaritas.
which-
It was pizza and margarita day.
Which this lasagna was worse than the Holocaust. Everybody. This lasagna
Hot take.
was so bad it could make a bunch of Jews want to
I
start their own
can't wait
state
for
in Arab
everyone to
land.
come to our comedy show on June 14th at this
9
very
p.m.
9 p.m. Thank you, Matt. You know, good thing Matt's here. Good thing.
Okay, fine. and then do you wanna plug your show, guys? This might not be in your wheelhouse, but Deborah actually started her own podcast. It's a speech pathology podcast.
Yes.
If you know
Yes.
anybody,
cheese adjacent for sure.
Yes, there's cheese. We eat it.
yeah. If you know
No
anybody
one
who's
cries
in
or
that
flips
world,
the table.
if you know any educators or speech pathologists or whatever who want a podcast to listen to,
Right.
where can they find your show?
Well,
baby?
we're on iTunes and iHeartRadio and Podbean and everything
And
else.
the name of it's SLP.
It's
Wine and
SLP's
Cheese.
Wine and Cheese. So we drink wine and we eat cheese and we discuss speech language pathology.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Hell
Yeah. So. Oh.
Would you be able to help me speak better?
I think you speak beautifully.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
What languages?
Arabic, English, and French.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at this guy's. I'm looking at this guy's Facebook status. Some Jersey comic goes, "I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale. What the fuck?" That's the whole thing.
I can't tell if that guy's anti-handmaids or
Well, some
we done?
guy comments, "Yeah, not good. LOL. The girls watch it.
Jesus.
Who are these people you're friends with?
They're like all Jersey comics,
Yeah.
and I'll never unfollow them because it's just too funny." Anyway, Amon, thanks for being here.
Thank you so
you
much
guys
for
are
being on.
awesome.
Did you get your plugs in?
Oh yeah, so my big show that I'm excited to be on, the Pride Show at Public Hotel, June 23rd. I'm around New York City all of this month until mid-July when I go to Just for Laughs.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thanks again.
Follow
for
me
be-
everywhere. Thank you so
Yeah,
much, you
this is
guys.
a
You're
lot of
awesome,
fun.
both of you. I'm such a fan now.
Thanks.
You hear that, Matt?
I
right.
got a fan.
All right. Bye, everybody.